Hey guys, back with another Echoing Thoughts podcast here, episode number 52. First one of 2024. Happy New Year. Man, was 2023 a great year. Just in the Maple world in general. Absolabs, I talked about it in last few podcasts, but the max damage cap increase, the Absolabs, the Damien, the Lotus, the solo content, the quality of life changes, the potentials, everything. There was a lot of great, even the classes were great. Ranked them, had my top 23 or had my class tier rankings for solo players to finish off my 2023 year of podcasts. And that was a great way to end the year, kind of how I started. My first podcast was a tiers list, and this one in 2024, we're going to do predictions. We just got the drop of Damien normal mode. Still going to be team play. I thought it was going to be solo. I was getting hyped about it, doing solo content, Damien, but I was wrong. I was quickly corrected that it's actually normal mode for team. So we obviously have no idea at this current moment, recording this 8:27 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday, January 3rd. We have no idea what the coin distributions are going to be like. We do know a little bit about KMSM, that this normal mode did not drop the face mask. It did not drop the materials to make the face mask. This is all what KMSM has. Their coin system is a little bit different, so it's hard to gauge, how many coins exactly we're going to get. But I'd assume, the current hard or chaos mode, whatever you want to call it, gives us 35 140 shards, so it makes 35 stigma stones. I would assume it's half of that, 60%. So probably take you about 5 to 6 weeks, maybe more. That'd be wild, because solo Lotus right now is about I don't even know, 60%. So it's not, the full 140. So I'd assume it's kind of in the same range as solo Lotus in comparison. And so let's just check real quick. I just did solo Lotus today, and it gives me 40 versus 140. Wow, that's a lot. That's a big difference. Wowzers. I definitely need to do multi on my Demon Slayer. Wow. 40 versus 140. So yeah, it could be a lot less. It could be a lot less coins, but I'm not complaining. I think that currently in our server, it's kind of what we need to get people at least excited about Damien, thinking that it's possible, because right now it just feels like it's still for the mega whales. We only have 2 teams that have cleared in our server, and I think people are just demotivated, not even interested, not even wasting their time. So hopefully our expectation is that it's going to be, everything's going to hit a little bit less. You're still going to need a certain amount of HP, probably I'd assume 150k versus 200 plus. I would assume dash is going to hit about 150. Orbs are probably hopefully tick around 25 to 30k. It's still not going to be easy. Mechanics are for Damien are unlike anything else. You can't just throw people together with good or decent gear and expect to clear. But at least people can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Even without even knowing what the rewards are, it's still, people are going to try. I know our teams and our group are trying to put teams together, making sure everyone does their story quest to at least try, right? To at least see it's worth the gamble. It's worth the shards, right? Because eventually you're going to have to do it, and it's just going to help the market. It's going to help people reach that end game. Kind of, I think it's going to be closer. 4.5 trillion, I think, was the HP for Chaos Damien. Could it be possible that it's 3 trillion? So 2/3 HP. So everyone has to do around 30 bill DPM over a 10-minute fight. That seems doable, right? That seems pretty doable. But we'll see. We'll see. Excited nonetheless. I just like that they give this stuff out. They let us know the week before. And I love these kind of teasers. Gets me excited that there's going to be more. I know last year there was instances where rebalances didn't even come out till like the weekend before, the day before their teasers. Some things were hidden to the very last minute. So gets me excited. The beginning of last year, 2023, was, started off with a bang, and January I expect nothing different. I don't believe then Cygnus Knights is going to come out in January, but we'll see. We'll see. It should be soon. If it's not January, expecting, it's got to be February, March. So that is kind of my initial thoughts of the first teaser. Hopefully there's more coming out. But after this, I'm going to talk about what my expectations and sort of predictions, bold predictions are for 2024. And I'm excited to share my thoughts, what I've talked to a lot of people about, hopefully get you guys excited as well. And, drop some things that I think could happen that, aren't the obvious ones. Like, obviously, V4 is going to come out. Obviously, we're going to get certain classes. Cygnus Knights Remaster is going to come out. I got some good stuff for you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. All right, before I get into the bold predictions, we're just going to talk about some things that I expect and that kind of we should all expect this year, 2024. So based off of what, KMSM got, this is based off of what other games, PC, a little bit of that, but just really based off of KMSM, we expect Cygnus Knights Remaster to come soon, real soon, probably within the next, first quarter, hopefully, ideally February. I also expect a rebalance coming early. I think the last one was in October, September, but it was pretty light. It was only a few classes. I expect kind of a big initial rebalance for majority of the classes. I think that it's a great way to start the year off right, to sort of make people excited for playing their class. And I think that that's just what, usually the first quarter we get something pretty nice to start off the year. Obviously, I expect Moon Fragment Shop to come out with Chinese New Year. That's usually a given. And then a new class, I think, if I were to guess, Mihail, definitely butchered that. But it's Cygnus Knights Warrior, kind of like between a Dawn Warrior and a Paladin sort of warrior, kind of one of those holy kind of knights. But I expect them to come out, if not during Cygnus Knights Remaster, kind of the first class to be released of the year. Hayato should be coming out. Kane, I think, is another one that they have. And those are three kind of off the top of my head. Let me know if you know any other characters that are going to be released in 2024. I'm excited for that because I'm trying to get my Legion up to 8,200. I'm about 76, 7,700 right now. So pretty close, pretty excited whenever that first class gets released. But that is, those are pretty given. And then I think, this is going to be the year of the Cygnus Knights. V4 obviously is going to come out. Comment below what else you think is going to come out this year, what we should expect. But this is going to be the year of the Cygnus Knights for sure. Just like 2023 was for the Explorers, it's going to be no different for Cygnus. Whenever that gets released, they are going to be probably topping the charts all year long. So if you're looking for a good class, DPS class, I expect Dawn Warriors. I expect Nightwalkers to be very, very good. Blaze Wizards, I'm sure, are going to be good. All of the Cygnus Knights will be nice. Very, very nice. Long overdue for those classes, for sure. But now we'll get into the bold predictions. I got 3 of them. So this is something that I obviously have no knowledge of. I'm just kind of taking a guess about, but kind of based on the trends. These are sort of things that I believe should and will happen. Maybe not to the extent that I say, but I think there will be something very similar in the near future. So first one is surprising. Might surprise you. I think that they're going to increase cuts. Give us back some cuts to armors. They did it for Rudibus armors. They, gave them two or three cuts, I think. And I think they're going to do the same for armors overall. Now, whether they make you pay for it, whether they just give it to you for free, that is to be obviously determined. But I would imagine that they'll bump it up to like a clean one is 12 and then just give everyone 2 cuts of everything. That is sort of my big, bold prediction. I have no insight on that, but I think that their cuts are just long overdue. Like, it's a huge factor for the market, the current gear, with things being traded around, people coming and leaving and kind of selling gear off. I think it's time for them to just, give cuts back in some way, hopefully free, just like they did with Rudibus. But with the Rudibus gear, that was always nice. But it'd be nice if they give us some cuts back too, in some sort of way. I think that would be a nice crowd pleaser, community pleaser for sure. And that's kind of my biggest, boldest prediction. Number 2, cap. Let's talk about cap. So in 2023, they didn't give any base max damage cap increase. It was all based off of Necro. It was all based off of, level 40. Or, they gave some to Mythic. They gave some, they increased it at Necros, level 30, 40, 50. And then obviously Absolab all the way up to 60. They got 2 buffs, rebalances, and each time it went up exponentially. But the issue with that was that it only affected kind of the 1% of the 1%, right? I know people with full Necros or full level 40 Necros that maybe got a few 100,000 cap, because the real gains were coming from level 40 to 50 and then 50 to 60. So that's, obviously invited people and forced people to want to rating exalt as the next step, and the gains from 40 to 50 were exponential. So it was much more worth it to try these, to make this progression. But I think the rest of the community, there's still a large community, part of the gaming community, that just didn't really benefit. So I think that this year they will find a way to increase max damage cap through base. I think they'll keep the armors the same. I think that cap-wise anyways. And then I think they'll just give everyone base max damage cap. Now, what will that number be? If I were to predict, I would say 3 mil is a good number. And the reason I say that is because I guess you could say average cap. Not average, but I would say a majority of people are in the 15 to 20 mil cap range, right? I would say that's, Mythics with the max damage cap weapon, with some Legion, good Legion, or they have some Necro armors, and maybe they have 6-set commander here and there. Sprinkled in, they're probably within the range of, 16 to 18 to 20, right? 20 on the higher end. And 3 mil feels about right. That's, 15 to 20% for majority of the player base. Just cap. That feels like a win, right? That feels like a good number. And it feels at least significant enough based on what the cap situation is at now, that it actually will make an impact. It will be sort of like a pseudo rebalance, right? A lot of rebalances boost people's classes and DPS by about 10, 15, 20%, depending on the class. So I think that kind of falls in line with, that's my thinking. Could be completely off. They could just boost it up to 5 mil, kind of get us on doing KMSM numbers. They could just boost all of our cap. But I think realistically, it seems like when it comes to cap anyways, global is just not on the same level as KMSM. And I think there's a reason for that. And they're trying to have that as being a difference. Now, kind of hand in hand, sort of my last bold prediction goes hand in hand with that. Like I said, I think cap is going to stay the same for armors, but they'll increase base damage cap. But I think it's time for them to increase stats for armors across the board. This past year, right, they increased potentials, gave us a huge boost, right? Like secondary weapons are going from capping at 5-6% lines to 9+. So almost 10, 9, so huge gains. They go from 15, 16% crit damage percent on a weapon, legendary weapon potential, to 27, 28%, which is a massive jump. If you add that up over, multiple accessories and multiple, pieces of armor, that's a lot of gains. And I still think it's the percents are behind the cap at the highest level, right? When you're trying to, and Maple always, Global always kind of tailors towards the end game to clear those bosses, right? They made a lot of changes to cap and potentials to help us clear Damien. We needed all of those changes, and I think it's going to be no different for the bosses that come out in 2024, because if everything goes according to plan, we're going to get 2 new bosses, Lucid and Will, and expect Lucid to be very soon. And I think my understanding was that KMSM cleared that like in the first day. So we'll see how difficult it is for Global. Again, the mechanics is much different. They have much higher HP pools and things like that. They tank a lot more of the abilities, but I think that stats across the board for Necros, for Mythics, and Absolabs, they need a bump. They need a big bump. And after this, I'll talk about kind of what my predictions are in a little bit. All right, so predictions for stat percentage increases. And what I mean by that is, like a level 40 Muspel or a Necro helmet, right? It gives around 13.4 crit damage percent. Or maybe like then level 50 gives you, or maybe level 50 gives you 13.4. But the difference between level 40 and level 50 is like 1 or 2%, right? It's pretty minimal. Even for the weapon, I think it's like 110 versus 122 for level 40 to 50. So that's like the biggest gain. But I think that it's time to bump that up even more. I know like level 50 Absolab outfit. For each level that you get, if you chose BA percent, you're getting like the 0.1, 0.2 for every level. So from 50 to 60, you get maybe 1% more boss attack. That's nothing. That's pretty significant. Like the cap is obviously like 2 mil plus from 50 to 60 for an Absolab, but why is the BA percent so low? That just feels like it's outdated. It needs to be changed. It needs to be updated. I know for Necros, they increased the HP and the MP that you got from leveling level 40, 50, and 60. But I think the stats need to go up. The stats are just falling behind the cap. The cap went up 15 to 45 bill, 15 mil to 45 mil. And the stats just, especially with clone classes, it's just, they just weren't able to keep up. Understandable. But I think this year, if I were to predict, they are planning to change that. They are planning to probably allow people to catch up cap-wise, the regular population, get into the 20s, get into 30s even, and then help boost up stats in some way with some sort of rebalance of armors, maybe even emblems, maybe even stats from flames. I don't know. Maybe they could do all of them, right? But all of it, even just a little bit, adds up. And I think that's what kind of my bold prediction, what I expect, just based off of what we're seeing right now with the numbers, where a lot of classes are having a hard time capping, and there's no, like, even, when the cap goes up, the stats aren't correlating, so they're just not doing the damage you'd expect. So I hope that's kind of the 3 big bold predictions that I have. First one is increase the cuts. Praying for that one. I think a lot of people are. Base cap increase. No, I don't think armors are going to be changed. That's already high enough. Base cap, 3 mil, my expectation, my prediction. And the last one is armor, percent stats on armors, maybe even HP, maybe even MP, maybe even defense. those get boosted as well. Those get buffed and rebalanced as well, to keep up with the current cap meta. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you agree, disagree? Anything that you've seen or are expecting based off of KMSM, based off of PC, what you're looking forward to in 2024? I hope they give us a roadmap like they did last year. A lot of things weren't on the roadmap, which was nice, but it at least, again, gets us excited, looking forward to something, giving us a little teaser. And then when they, over deliver and they give us max damage cap increases and rebalances, and they give us Absolabs and Damiens, that's, even better, right? So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for just new content, always. Like solo arc to start the year. Normal mode Damien to start off the year is not what I expected. I just wasn't. And I'm hyped about it. I'm hyped about it because I'm trying to get, all my alts, trying to find a team, trying to get guildies to clear, people to clear, just get people excited to want to try Damien. Because Damien is, all the people that I've cleared and played it, it's fun. It's rewarding. It is, it's challenging. It's not easy, but it's worth the grind. It's worth all the time that we put into it. And I hope people get to, I hope it's not too easy where people just sort of, clear in the first try. I hope there's still some sort of level of mechanics to it, or if the difference between, normal mode and quote unquote chaos mode is that drastic, kind of similar to like normal hard Magnus versus hard Magnus, or vice versa, right? So I'm excited for that. If starting off with a bang, I know it may not affect everybody, but I think that if there's anything to learn, and that from takeaways from me and things that I've talked about at the end of the year, last year, and kind of this year, is that build your army. I think the best way to progress and to not burn out and to enjoy the game fully is by playing multiple classes, doing a lot of endgame content, investing in support classes. I have 2 paladins and a bishop that I'm trying to do Damien with, that I do all of the endgame content with, all the way up to Lotus. I have a Demon Slayer that I'm trying to build up, hopefully by V4, get into a Damien team. That's a work in progress, but just the thrill of going through all this progress again on all these alts and trying to gear it up and trying to progress it and clear content with it. It keeps it fun and enjoyable, and definitely for me, it doesn't it gets me excited to, because the play styles are all so different. Even the 2 paladins, the gears are definitely not the same, so you have to play a little bit differently. You just do. The damage is different, so you got to be a little bit more cautious with cooldowns and iframes and things like that. The HP is less, and Bishop's completely different. You can go DPS, you can go support, and Demon Slayers are just badass, fun. I miss it. I've been doing content on it, everything. Just animations, nodes, CRA, Hard Magnus, Solo Arc. Yeah, great time. And it's all rewarding, right? Just the opportunity to get primals. I've been getting a ton of primals. The opportunity to get, to do CRA, to get Lotus coins, to get 6-set Commander, doing Hard Magnus, eventually Damien. There's just so much endgame possibilities, and if you're trying to find the right classes, find a support class that you enjoy. You don't need to be the biggest, baddest DPS. Everyone's going to need a Phantom. Everyone's going to need a Bishop, a Paladin, a Shade, a Sia. They all bring things to the table that isn't just strictly DPS, and they can contribute in a lot of ways other than topping the meters. So that's sort of my tips for 2024, and just my resolution, my goals for 2024, just to build up an army that's doing endgame content that gets me excited for V4, right, and all these different classes. And yeah, it's a challenge. It's fun. I can't wait to, I have some, I can't wait to build up my Demon Slayer, which is going to be Chaos. I'm going to try to build Inherit into Chaos Armor and see what that's like, if I can do in-game content without going the Necro route, to help a lot of you guys kind of see what that POV is like, if it's doable, right? I think because that, Necros is challenging still. Absolabs is hard still. So if you can go Chaos, you can do your, Commander dailies, you can get your Chaos coins, you can get your inherents. See if it's doable. Excited about 2024. It's only 3 days in. Just got one little teaser. Ready. Hope you guys are too. Hope you guys are excited as I am. Thank you again. Share what you're looking forward to most in 2024. Share what, you think is going to happen, your predictions, bold predictions, whatever it is. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Thank you again for watching. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Let's start off the year off right, 2024. Have some fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.